James Madison, the father of the Constitution. Come on, Mara. Focus. You have to work on your project. These guys have it so easy. Time machines usually solve everything. I wish I could just go and ask James Madison himself about all this. That would be cool. Huh? Where am I? Montpelier? Isn't that the estate that James Madison grew up in? Am I in Virginia? I guess I'll go knock up on the door. I wonder if anyone's working here today. Someone's answering the door. Huh. There's someone in weird clothing. Hey, pal. What is the year?
How now, ma'am? It is 1817.
What? Really? Do you know James Madison?
Where are you from? Bogging in my papa's field?
So you do know him. Take me to him. It's super important.
Papa! Someone is here calling for you. Good barrow, miss. How do you fare?
Oh my goodness! It's James Madison! One of the founding fathers, the 4th President of the United States, and the father of the Constitution.
The Constitution was not the offspring of a single brain, but the work of many heads and many hands. So what's your name, miss? I feel like I'm at a disadvantage, seeing as you know me, though I haven't the slightest notion of who you are.
My name is Mara Owens. Either this is a dream, or I'm from the future.
Well, Miss Owens, it is delightful to meet you. What brings you to my abode? Are you here to soiree with my Dolly Madison?
Actually, Mr. James Madison, sir, I'm here for you. May I ask you some questions for my American government class?
Why, of course. Anything for a young scholar. Follow me. Let us go sit in my tea room.
So, Mr. Madison, may I call you that? When were you born?
I was born on March 16th, 1751. Although, that's after we switched to the Gregorian calendar structure.
I've heard of that. If we didn't switch, you'd be born on the 2nd, right?
Correct, Miss Owens.
What was life like for you before you went into politics?
Well, I was actually born in my mother's house in Port Conway.
Oh yeah? That's only an hour and a half away from where my grandparents live. Well, where their will live.
Fascinating. Where's that?
Well, it doesn't exist yet. Not for another 36 years. But please, continue on about what your life was like.
Well, I lived in that house for a few years until sometime in the 1760s, when this house was built and we moved here. After receiving my mother's teachings, I was taught by a Scottish tutor named Donald Robertson until I was around 16, after which I went on to study under Reverend Thomas Martin here at this estate.
Wow! You must have really loved learning about things.
Indeed. I loved learning about a great many of things.
Where did you study after that, Mr. Madison?
Why, I went to the College of New Jersey.
New Jersey? But that's so far up north. Why'd you go there and not the College of William and Mary?
I was quite sickly when I was younger, so north was better.
Ah, I see. What did you do after you graduated from the College of New Jersey? This was around the Revolutionary War, right? Did you join the military?
After I graduated from the college, I initially joined the Orange County Militia However, I decided military wasn't the best lifestyle for someone like me, and I left before I participated in any active assignments. So instead, I joined the Orange County Committee of Safety with my father.
After that is when you became a delegate for the Virginia Convention?
Yes. That was in 1776.
Tell me about how the Constitution came about, please.
I had been in government for a few years by this time, but a few of my colleagues and I felt that the government was too unorganized for a new country. So I wrote a plan, titled the Virginia Plan, which proposed a strong central government with 3 branches to check each other. In addition, my plan outlined 2 separate bodies of proportional representational legislature. It was that plan they chose to become the foundation for the Constitution.
So you really did basically write the Constitution. I bet people were eating that up like hotcakes. It sounds like such a good plan compared to the government before.
It was no cakewalk getting this document ratified. John J. Alexander Hamilton and I wrote articles in the newspaper coined the Federalist Papers. We wrote articles tirelessly to convince the American people that this is what America needed. Finally, after heavy debate and many compromises, it was finally ratified.
What compromises did you have to make?
I had obtained 19 amendments to add from my fellow Virginians about how to be treated and outline what our basic rights should be. Of those 19, Congress chose 12 and voted 10 into the Constitution. In addition, during the convention, someone from New Jersey submitted the Jersey Plan, which outlined that each state should have equal representation, 1 representative per state, in the U.S. government. We compromised by the Senate having equal representation across the board, and the House of Representatives have representation based on my proposition.
When was that, Mr. Madison?
Oh, a few months later, in July of 1788. That was when New Jersey finally decided to ratify, making it the 9th state out of 13.
Thank you so much, Mr. Madison. So you recently finished your 2nd term of presidency, right?
Yes, just earlier this year, we came back from the White House.
While I was researching you, I was confused by your alliance, but I realize now that many people were. You seemed to be a Federalist in the beginning, and then a little while later you switched to the party you and Jefferson created. Can you tell me more about the Democratic Republican Party you and Mr. Jefferson created?
Of course. Around 1793, Jefferson and I realized that we no longer aligned with the views of the Federalists. Washington was endorsing an idea that we felt went against the Bill of Rights. So Jefferson and I formed a new party, which he ran for presidency under after John Adams.
What did Washington endorse that you disliked?
Washington supported my old Federalist ally, Alexander Hamilton, and his idea of a stronger government with their interests leaning in commercial businesses, rather than the common men. They also supported Great Britain, instead of wishing to remain neutral during the French Revolution. So Jefferson and I created the Democratic Republican Party.
You ran for presidency after Thomas Jefferson endorsed you as his successor. How did your presidency go?
Well, I was inaugurated in 1809, right after an embargo was placed on British and French trading. So we certainly weren't ready to be thrust into the French Revolution. We wanted to be a neutrality. However, Britain continued to force American seamen into their service.
Ah, that led to the War of 1812. How did the Federalists feel about going to war with Britain?
New Englanders did not want us going to war with their clients, and the embargo was a hindrance to their trades. So the New Englanders, most of which were Federalists, threatened secession. However, most citizens now seem to think it was extremely unpatriotic to not support your country in time of war. Finally, around 1815, the war ended in a draw, when France and England settled their differences, not before the British burned the White House down.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me about your life.
You are a delight to talk with. Feel free to come around again.
If I ever figure out how to go to the past again, I'll definitely visit again.
Payne! Yes, Papa. Show Miss Owens out, please. And try not to get into too much trouble whilst doing so. Yes, Papa.
And so, after Madison's presidency, he retired to his estate in Orange County, Virginia. He did keep himself busy in retirement, after trying out tobacco and wheat farming and trying to keep his stepson in check. He resigned to editing his notes from the Constitution Convention and publishing them to generate revenue. On June 28, 1836, James Madison passed away over breakfast from speculated heart or kidney failure. Despite his family and the public's wish that he remain alive until July 4th, so that he may have the same death day as his friend, Thomas Jefferson, who had died 10 years prior on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence signing, even though he had no real relation to the Declaration of Independence. Despite profusely refusing the claims of him being the father of the Constitution, James Madison really did lay out the groundwork for the America we have today. If not for his Virginia plan and how persuasive he was in debates, who knows what America would look like today.